We are here at the Royal Hotel with KZN IMBIZO at the State of the Music Business panel discussion. And a part of our panel we have Udon Laga, just to name a few. My name is Nonjabulo Mkwanazi, better known as NJ, and we are Last Night in Durban.tv, as we always do promise to bring you waves of fun.
Something interesting, in 2012, right, PricewaterhouseCoopers said that the music industry in South Africa was worth 2.4 billion rands. Right? That's a lot of money. 2.4 billion rands. Right? Let me bring you in, Claudette. The chamber. Do you interact with the music industry? Do you know? I know that there's no face to the music industry, but are there companies within the chamber? It's the biggest chamber in South Africa, with over 3,000 companies in Africa.
Being an artist, even a musician in South Africa, is a very easy thing. Easy from the point of view that Pradon went to school, but there are many people who regard themselves, and we give them that regard, as artists, and who have never been to school for music.
And know how much to charge for your services. You won't go out and perform for 2,000 rand. Question number 2 is it still relevant to be signed to a label? If, for example, I read Wikipedia that Columbia Records takes almost 80% of whatever you make as an artist. Never mind that they'll give you $250,000 in the beginning as an advance for you to record your songs, but afterwards they will take that money after you've made your profits from your album sales, from your song.
Being a musician never stopped. So while studying, while working there, I started studying for my licentiate in music. And, I passed my grade 8 and I did an licentiate with the Royal Schools of Music. And one of the few things that I realized there was, the small portion on the study of making money within the industry that I'm in. And I started reading about all the top musicians making money all over. And I was very fortunate when growing up, when I saw my first, by the way, let me go back. I just started in the middle because I want to explain the business inside the music. In 1972, I made my first record, and when I made that record in 1972, I met with a group then called Lady Smith, like IMBIZO then, and we were produced by the same producer. And there was one of South Africa's biggest artists ever, I think, who Mahlatini. Mahlatini used to play stadiums, packed stadiums, not only in South Africa, but throughout the continent. And I used to see him with an attached bag full of money. And at that time, and as I say, I was not aware of the business inside music. I thought people were making money at the time, they were making money. But I had to go back so you can understand where I come from. But after I completed my licentiate in music, one of the things that came to mind was, how do people in the music industry all over the world sustain themselves? What happens if the hits are no longer there? What happens if you are a one-hit wanderer?
Within the chamber that can challenge these issues, and we can move forward. And we could also look at how we can, in terms of marketing our musicians within KZN, because we want to have a footprint as I'm sure you guys want to have a footprint as musicians in the industry, and that can tap into various things in the industry. Why do we have to get people from outside KZN?
The dynamics of the time, obviously, because of new technologies now, we can see everyone can start a record label from their bedroom. So, as I say, it is difficult to judge by that.
But Durban.tv, and I'm standing here with Udon Laga. How are you?
I'm very well, actually.
It's very good to see you, and thank you for having us here.
Well, for me, it's homecoming because I remember my first time in KZN was in 1980.
Okay.
I came here to join a group, form a group with members of Sakile. That's when I first came here. And I actually would spend the whole year at Umlazi.
Oh, wow, interesting. I'm from Umlazi.
Okay, yeah, Kwadi, yeah.
It's good to have you here. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
So what I'd love to ask you is, you are a musician and you specify in jazz. So what I'd like to know is, how has the reception been of jazz music in South Africa?
Jazz has always been at the forefront of South African music in terms because of the struggle that we had.
Okay.
And jazz has always been at the forefront of delivering the message to the people. If you look at South Africa, Miriam Makeba was the first artist to go to present at United Nations in the 60s. So, as I say, jazz has always been in the forefront of this country. And, and our South African jazz is completely different from American jazz.
True.
It's got our own culture, it's got our own story, and we tell it the way we are in this country.
That's very interesting. And Bob Donlaga, you also mentioned earlier that you took upon a march in 1994 where you marched to the SABC studios and you were requesting for them to air your music. So how well have they done in doing that, and SABC studios to be specific?
Well, in 1994, I think just because there was we were moving towards the new democracy. What
True.
happened is that the floodgates were opened, and the American music flooded the scene and European music. And, the people working at SAP decided, so what? Let's just play this new stuff that we're receiving. So that's what has happened, and we protested, and we're carrying banners throughout, up and down in Johannesburg, going towards the SABC. And, remember Chico, myself, Mara Lowe, Zwakembule, and a lot of other
people in the industry.
Yes, and we went out there, and remember where they would set dogs on us and stuff. But it's been a fight that a few years later
has paid off.
It paid off, and we saw the rise of South African music until it dies again, differently this time. And we're trying to rectify that, and I'm glad that even the government has taken it upon themselves that they need to be part of the rectification of the problems that we're facing now.
And still sticking to the airing of music, I know that there's a channel on Umzansi that's airing jazz music. So how do you feel about that now?
Well, Umzansi, for me, it's okay, but we need it on the public broadcaster where everyone can have access. On that platform, you need to have a paid channel. So people don't have that kind of money in this country. We've got still a lot of poor people living in this country.
Indeed.
So it has to be on a public broadcaster. The space of public broadcaster is to reach everyone in this country, whether you have money or no money, but you need to get information.
Ubab Donlaga, thank you so much for your time. Ubab Donlaga with us here on Last Night in Durban.tv, songwriter and a producer and an entrepreneur. We are Last Night in Durban.tv. Thank you. We're still here on Last Night in Durban.tv, and I'm standing here with one of our local upcoming artists, Abstract Major. How are you doing?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
It's good to have you here. And it's good to see that there's local talent as well, as much as people don't take notice of it. I mean, how has it been for you as a young upcoming artist?
Well, actually, thank you for having me right here.
It's a pleasure.
Basically, right now, I could just tell you, it's been very challenging, the obstacles that myself as a local rapper in KZN, it's just, you being yourself, just finding yourself
True.
in this music business and career, and also what is important is you having fun at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So, going out, doing gigs, having money, just the business side is that's where you're actually really in for it.
True.
But for me as an artist, like right now, I'm just happy to, be who I am and, being a person that's actually figuring out his craft in actually the music industry. So yeah, I'm feeling great.
Well, I know another thing that happens is that artists move from Durban to Johannesburg, and it's mostly because that's where all the productions happen. So do you think there should be something done here in Durban to keep local talents in Durban?
Well, I mean, yeah, I actually think we should actually have something like that, you know? Because, I mean, like, we ain't got no Auckland Park, right? In Durban. So, I mean, doesn't mean that we actually need an Auckland Park to actually, you know, show where the talents, yeah. So, all I could just say to you is, I mean, rappers are everywhere, you know? Musicians are everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So it doesn't have to be like whether everybody has to go to Joburg, that's where the connects are, you know? I mean, you can also open up your own, you know, thing at your own province or your own city, you know? Be creative, because that's what I believe in when it comes to music, you know? You gotta be creative, you gotta actually find yourself and think of ways, you know? And also interact with the youth, you know? Find out what the youth thinks about, you know, music, you know? Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that are being done in the industry, but yeah, I mean, so far, the roots of actually where rappers do go to is Joburg, and also KZN is, you know, the place where you do find a lot of talent, you know.
Like
so,
they mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah.
being an artist that's upcoming, where can people find you
Well, I mean,
on your social media?
you can find me on Facebook.
Okay.
I'll start with Facebook, right? Because Facebook is very, you know, common. On Facebook, I'm actually Abstract Major.
Okay.
On Twitter, it's Abstract Major _. You can also find me on Instagram. Yeah, I'll be taking them selfies too, you know.
Okay.
So
We see you.
so yeah, I'm also on Instagram. You can find me on SoundCloud too. And also just to mention, I'm actually not alone, right? I'm also doing music with a group.
Okay.
And also we actually running a business.
Okay.
It goes by the name of Golden Black Entertainment. So you can just also find us there, you know, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Golden Black is just one word, and ENT. So,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you so much for your time, Abstract Major.
Pleasure, man.
So guys, this is Last Night in Durban.tv. Thank you. Still with Last Night in Durban.tv, and we're here at the State of the Music Business discussion, and with one of our panel members, Utando Nyamin. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank
Right.
you. So you also mentioned that there's a difference between the business industry and
Right.
the actual music industry, and the music business.
Correct.
So could you differentiate the two, please?
All right. It's pretty simple. In fact, it depends on how you look at it. Okay. There could be no difference if you know the business side of things, if you treat it as such, because really, music is a business. One mistake that we normally do is the same mistake we do when we tell our parents, hey mom, I want to grow up and become a musician. And they be like, are you crazy? Are you mad? You're going to become a doctor or a nurse or a police person or a lawyer. Because the music industry has never been treated with
Okay.
respect, you know, as a career that one can sustain themselves financially with.
True.
So we're changing that status quo. We want people to start believing in it as a business. And we started with government, and now they're actually understanding us and they believing us, and they saying, guys, we're now supporting you. And now we're trying to get to the greater people, even the artists themselves. Stop just holding the microphone. There's a lot going on in your business
True.
if you are the business.
So what you're working on is giving it that stigma.
Giving it the stigma, but I think stigma is a word that I don't necessarily want to use only, but because it's a reality, really. We are creating that reality for them by showing them just how they can make money out of what they already do, out of what they actually love. Because trust me, if you get a dream job that you love and it pays you well, have you ever had that feeling, you know,
That's what I'm doing here right now.
that's what I'm talking about. Then you realize that I do it right, I make more money, I'm happy. I'm a
True.
happy chappy.
True.
Yeah.
And passion is the key word.
Passion is the key word.
Passion.
Passion is the key word, because without passion, unfortunately, you won't be
You'll
able
never
to.
have that drive.
You won't have the drive to actually stick, because it's not as glamorous as people think. The whole
Sure.
music industry. I'm an artist myself. At times, we go to sleep at 5 in the morning, and then you have to be in the office by 8 a.m. because I'm also
Likewise,
trying to run it as a
exactly,
business.
exactly.
You know what I mean? But I love it. I'm not complaining about it.
The same way TV hosting is not as glamorous as it looks, trust me.
Oh, well.
Sitting there making notes and getting to know the people that are at the events is not glamorous.
Looking at you, I doubt that it's not glamorous. But
I'm
anyway,
telling you,
yeah.
it's not.
But I understand really because I come from that world myself. So it is really, people don't see it,
They don't.
unfortunately. They see what we show them.
They see
and
the beautiful part of it.
there is a very, very hectic side of it. But you get to love it too because you're doing something you love and
Thank
it pays
you.
you back.
And one last thing
Right.
is you guys mentioned sustainability
Correct.
inside there. So could you, for instance, tell those upcoming artists
Right.
out there how they can empower themselves, how they can gain that knowledge?
Well, you know what? First and foremost, they can gain that knowledge if they're from KZN by becoming members of KUMISA. What KUMISA stands for is KwaZulu-Natal United Music Industry Association. We are not very hard to find. 64 Helen Joseph Road, which used to be known as Davenport Road back in the days in Glenwood, next to the Davenport Center. So become a member because what we're doing at KUMISA, we're establishing what we call an information desk
Okay.
that will have the A to Z of the music industry. And what I like about KUMISA is that it doesn't just look at the artist, but it looks at the artist manager. It looks at everyone who feeds the value chain of the music industry, from music manufacturers to music retailers to people that actually work, to producers, to, you know, everything that pertains to the music industry. So if you feel that you are within there, and trust me, listen, we don't have time for wooden mics, so we want people that really, really have the talent,
told him.
the drive, and the passion. If you know that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, then you got to come through and see us.
You mean business?
We mean business.
Okay, so you mentioned KUMISA. So could you please repeat where people can find you, social media anyway?
Right. Social media, our website is www.kumisa.com. On Facebook, we are KUMISA, that's KUMISA. Otherwise, just Google KwaZulu-Natal United Music Industry Association. It'll take you to a host of all our social media platforms, and feel free to just, you know, become a member there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Tando. We are Last Night in Durban.tv. Be out. Last Night in Durban.tv, and I'm standing here with the chairperson of the Music House KZN, Umandisa. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
I'm very good, thank you. Beautiful lady from Durban, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Local talents, guys. So please could you let people know, what does the Music House of KZN do?
Okay, firstly, Music House KZN is the entity of the Department of Arts and Culture. The main mandate is to try and have an enabling environment for musicians, KZN musicians. So there is a number of support that is available within the organization itself, and it's cut across all areas of music. So one needs to come in there and see what supports that could be provided for them.
So we do need people like you who are going to bring up this homegrown talents.
Yes, and really what supports that is you would have heard from the panel discussion that we had earlier. KZN has talent.
Major.
And also the music industry, it's one of the contributors to the economy of this province.
Indeed.
And that is what's driving us to try and support the industry in every way possible, so that those that are in the industry can prosper and be exposed outside KZN and if possible beyond South African borders.
But working with local artists in Music House of KZN, do you see any growth in music in KZN?
Well, one must admit that there is still a lot of work to be done, but there is growth. Yeah, there is growth, and we believe with the current support that is available, the talent that we have can be nurtured to greater heights.
True.
And also that will be possible with all the stakeholders coming together and working all together for the same cause, which is to develop the talent that we have in the province.
Indeed. So could you please let people know where they can find you on social media as the Music House KZN?
Okay. There is a website, musichousekzn.co.za, that people can tap into. There is also a social page, a Facebook social page, which is also Music House KZN. But other than that, people can visit Music House in their offices, premises, which are at number 2, Debbie Road, there by Greyville Racecourse.
Okay, thank you so much. You heard it from Umandisa of Music House KZN. This is Last Night in Durban.tv. We're still here on Last Night in Durban.tv, and I'm standing here with this chairperson of KZN Music IMBIZO. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Sure.
It's good to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So please could you let people know what KZN IMBIZO is about?
Okay. The KZN Music IMBIZO is an annual music business conference.
Okay.
Right. So what happens is we have 3 days of music business. It's basically talks around publishing, the recording industry, equipments, production. You know, we also have an exhibition element to it. And what we're going to be doing this year is we're going to have about 60 up-and-coming artists that will be performing and competing for 10,000 rands.
Okay.
So we also have a drum beat-making competition. We've got a hip-hop beat-making competition. So essentially, IMBIZO is a music business conference that caters for anyone and everyone in the business.
That's very interesting. And
Yeah.
I know today that you headed this event, so how successful was it for you?
It was very successful because we had our panelists. They came through. Mr. Don Laka, Mr. Buti Muloi from Economic Development, Tando Nyameni, Kumisa, Monabiso Bom, who's a legend within the city. We also had Claudette Singamoni, the Vice President of the Chamber. So they came through, and the audience as well came through. We had a number of people, young and old, that were there, and they stayed throughout, and it went on forever. We were supposed to finish at 3:30, and here we are, it's about 5.
That's
You know?
how successful the event was.
Yeah, it was.
So one last thing,
Okay.
please could you let people know where they can find you as KZN Music IMBIZO, so on social media anyway?
Okay. On social media, Facebook, we are KZN Music IMBIZO.
Okay.
On Twitter, at KZN Music IMBIZO. Instagram, at KZN Music IMBIZO. We also have a website up, kzn-musicimbizo.co.za.
Okay.
What else do we have? We have a Snapchat,
Oh, okay.
and we also have Periscope.
You updated.
Yeah,
Very
we didn't
updated.
do our Periscope today. Most people would have seen that live, but yeah. So, but we also on YouTube as well.
Okay.
We've got some of our talks on the KZN Music IMBIZO TV page. Yeah, we try to be all over the place and cover all angles.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys heard it from Uspeo of the KZN Music IMBIZO. Last Night in Durban.tv, signing out. Came and we saw at the state of the music business discussion. So guys, stay tuned with us every single time, never miss a moment with Last Night in Durban.tv. I am Unonjabulo Ramkhwanazi, Miss NJ, signing out, bringing you waves of fun.